Video, I'll be showing you how to set up a home wireless network. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure you have your router plugged in, obviously to power, but then you're going to want to plug it into your computer. So you're going to want to take an Ethernet cable and plug it into the LAN, that's L as in Lima, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy port on the router, and then plug the other end into your computer. Now, once that's done, you're going to want to try to hit the IP address, the default admin IP address of the router to get into the user interface. Now, some of these vary. You can always look it up online. Like let's say you have like a Netgear switch. You can look that up and say what's the default admin IP address for this model of Netgear switch. It'll tell you. Also, it'll tell you the default username and password. Usually it's just admin, but sometimes it can vary. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disable my wireless connection. Sometimes you can leave them both running, but I just like to have no conflict whatsoever. So I'm going to disable that, and I'm going to enable this. And I know because I looked up the default admin IP address that this IP address is 192.168.0.1. Now, sometimes it's .0.1, other times it's 192.168.1.1. So just keep that in mind. You'll want to look up the exact IP address for that model. Okay, here is the interface. Default password on this is admin. You will always want to change that after you get this set up. Okay, so now we're inside of the router. You're going to want to go down to wireless here on this specific model. Alright, channel automatic. This means it's automatically going to pick the channel, which is nice because sometimes if your neighbors have their stuff set up, maybe they're on channel 6. Now, if your router is defaulted to channel 6, you'll both be on the same channel. That's not good. That'll cause connectivity problems. So this router automatically picks which channel to go on. If yours does not, and you're noticing you're having some connectivity issues, you might want to go in here and switch it to something else. It won't hurt anything. Okay, so this is all set up. It's enabled to broadcast. SSID broadcast is enabled. AP isolation, you're going to want to most likely have this disabled because if you enable this, you won't be able to wirelessly print or communicate with any other devices. Okay, so that's disabled. That's good. Here is where you can name the SSID whatever you would like. Do not leave it as default. You definitely don't want that. Description, you can just say home. But for the SSID, the network name, you're going to want to name this something unique. So let's name this I love coffee. Just to show you, you can literally change it to whatever you want. Alright, encryption, security. We're going to want to change this. We don't want automatic. Here's where you can change your authentication settings. So you're going to want to use WPA2 PSK. The encryption, you can use AES or TKIP. I usually use AES. Okay. Now PSK password, you're going to want to change this. So you're going to want to make this unique. So this is the password you're going to use to connect wirelessly. So don't forget it. I am going to make it password 123 for the sake of this video. Do not ever make this your real permanent password, as it is extremely easy to hack. Save that. Okay? Excellent. Now this should be broadcasting I love coffee, and I'm going to prove that here in a second as soon as we get done setting this up. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to change the password. You do not want it just to be admin. That is extremely dangerous. So current password is admin. Now we're going to change this. I'm going to make a different username. I'm going to call this home123. New password. I'm just going to make this password 123 again. Just note, do not actually make that your password. Password 123. Confirm. Password 123. Okay. See if this makes me enter in the password. Yep. Alright. Home 123. Password 123. Log in. Okay, now I'm back in. Now my password is secured, and this is good because this means that if I have someone over and they hook onto my Wi-Fi, they can't get in to the administrative side of my router to do anything malicious to it, which is always a plus. Pretty much everything else you really don't have to worry about it a lot. Here in the LAN tab, you can change your IP address to any private IP address you'd want. Usually it's just fine to keep this the way it is in a basic home wireless setup. WAN. This particular model has 2 WAN ports. So what you can do is you can disable the second one, and it'll show you right in this area how many LAN ports you have. So if I have 2 WANs, I'm losing a LAN port, and I don't want that. I want more LAN ports. So I'm going to save. Okay. WAN, 9 times out of 10, you can leave it as dynamic. When you plug it into your modem, it should work just fine. If it doesn't, you're going to want to call your ISP and ask them if you have a static IP. If you do for some reason, which it's doubtful you do, but if you do for some reason, then you just switch this drop down, type in whatever IP address and subnet mask and default gateway and DNS that your ISP gives you. They will give you number for number what the address is to get on. You just plug that in and hit save. I'm going to leave this on dynamic at the moment and go back to WAN mode. Okay. So pretty much we have everything set up. Wireless we have set to broadcast. We have our security set up. We have our password set up. That's basically it. All you have to do now is make sure you plug your router into the modem. Here's the trick. You plug the Ethernet cable into the LAN, L as in Lima, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy port of the modem. You plug it into the WAN port. W as in Whiskey, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy of the router. It goes LAN of modem to WAN of router. Okay. Now, if you don't have a port that says WAN and you have a port that says internet on your router, that's where you want to plug that into. That will get you out to the internet. If it does not get you out to the internet, try to power cycle the whole system once you have it plugged in correctly. Power cycle the modem and then power cycle the router. It should work. Okay, so I have all this set up. Now I'm going to prove to you that I just changed this to whatever I want. And this is nice to change it because then you don't have the default Netgear or default Linksys broadcasting. And if you do have the default, people that want to get into your network, they kind of look at that as bait because they're going to think to themselves, okay, they have the default SSID being broadcast, they probably have the default username and password. And if you haven't went in here and secured it like I showed you, they're going to be able to get in and it's not good. So I'm going to disable this for now, and we're going to see which networks are broadcasting. Okay. Looks like we still have the default TP-Link broadcasting. Looks like we're going to need to reboot. Okay. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the power button. You're going to see TP-Link go away. There, it went away. I'm going to power it back on. When it comes back up, it will not have the default Linksys anymore. It will have I Love Coffee. And if it doesn't have I Love Coffee, I'm not going to be very impressed. Still booting, still booting. There it is. I Love Coffee. Connect to it. I don't actually have it hooked up to the internet, so I type in my password 123, and if I did have internet, I would be off to the races. So that is how you set up a basic home wireless network. This concludes this video. If you have any questions or need help with some other troubleshooting type material, please feel free to contact me through YouTube. Thank you.